All right, let's talk about one of the biggest stories ever told, the story of us. But what if the version of human evolution that most of us learned in school is, well, completely wrong? What if our family tree is less of a straight line and more of a tangled, chaotic bush? Let's dive in. You know this image, right? Of course you do. It's the march of progress. One ancestor, slowly, neatly, and just kind of inevitably evolving into modern us. It's simple, it's clean, and it's probably the most famous diagram in all of science. But here's the question. Is it the truth? Yeah, the real story is so much messier, way more crowded, and honestly, a whole lot more interesting. It's less of a neat little march and more of a chaotic mosh pit. So forget that straight line we just saw. Our family tree is more like a tangled, branching bush, with different groups splitting off, meeting back up, and sometimes just disappearing. Our family has some serious drama. Okay, first, let's just get one huge misconception out of the way. For most of our history as a species, we were not the only humans on the block, not by a long shot. When our species, Homo sapiens, first showed up, we were basically the new kids in a world that was already packed with our ancient cousins. This wasn't some kind of relay race where one species handed the baton to the next. Nope, it was a crowded party. Now, what's really wild about this is the overlap. Just look at these timelines. Homo erectus was still around when Neanderthals emerged. The Neanderthals were established for over 100,000 years before our own species, Homo sapiens, even existed. And for tens of thousands of years, sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans were all walking the planet at the exact same time. We weren't the inevitable endpoint. We were just one of several human experiments happening all at once. And the list of our relatives, what scientists call hominins, is just incredible. You had the tiny hobbits in Indonesia, the mysterious Homo naledi in South Africa. The list just goes on and on. The planet was home to a stunning diversity of human forms. So you might be wondering, if all this happened so long ago, how on earth could we possibly know about these ancient interactions? Well, the answer lies in a pretty recent scientific revolution. For decades, all we really had to go on were bones and stone tools. But in the 21st century, we unlocked a kind of time machine that was hidden inside those very fossils all along. Ancient DNA analysis has been a total game changer. It literally lets us read the genetic code of beings who died hundreds of thousands of years ago. We can see who was related to who met who, and even who had children together. It's like paleo gossip, but it's all backed by hard science. And this isn't just some abstract thing happening on a computer. It's incredibly painstaking lab work. You have scientists in full body suits, carefully drilling tiny amounts of powder from priceless fossils, just trying to capture these tiny fragments of ancient DNA before they disappear forever. They're literally piecing together a story that was once completely lost to time. And this quote right here, this is what I love about science. People like the geneticist David Reich, who's a pioneer in this field, they aren't afraid to see their own theories get turned upside down. The goal isn't to be right, it's to get it right. And that's exactly what all this new data is forcing us to do. So, this brings us to the main character in the final act of this whole prehistoric drama. Us. Homo sapiens. Now, our species had made a few smaller trips out of Africa before. But around 55,000 years ago, something just clicked. A major wave of migration started, pushing out across Asia, into Europe, and eventually to every single corner of the globe. And the amazing part is, we can trace this epic journey today right inside our own cells. The genetic variation in modern human populations acts like a roadmap, allowing scientists to reconstruct the exact paths our ancestors took as they populated the entire planet. But our global success story raises a pretty haunting question. Because as Homo sapiens spread across the world, all those other human species, they vanished. So, this is the big one. What happened? Where did everybody go? Were we directly responsible? Or was it something else entirely? This is one of the biggest mysteries in all of human prehistory. Well, scientists have three main theories, and the truth is probably a messy mix of all of them. Let's just call them conflict, competition, and assimilation. The conflict theory is pretty straightforward. We wiped them out. It's plausible, but there's not a lot of direct archaeological evidence for some kind of prehistoric world war. Then there's the competition theory, which is more subtle. Some evidence suggests Neanderthals, for example, needed thousands more calories per day just to survive. Our more efficient metabolism might have given us a critical edge when things got tough. But the assimilation theory? That's where the DNA evidence just blows the whole story wide open. What's this number? Well, that is the average percentage of Neanderthal DNA found in the genomes of all modern humans living outside of Africa today. Just think about what that means. Our ancestors didn't just replace them, they met them, and they had children with them. We didn't just conquer the world, we absorbed parts of it right into our own DNA. This changes everything. It means we aren't some pure species that won an evolutionary contest. We are a hybrid, a mosaic, carrying the genetic ghosts of these other humans inside of us, right now. So, here we are, the sole survivors of this grand experiment. But we carry the legacy of that incredible diversity within our very code. And, understanding that tangled past is the key to thinking about our future, because it would be a huge mistake to think this story is over. Evolution never, ever stops. It's happening right now, inside every single one of us. Our DNA is constantly changing, adapting. The same forces that shaped our ancestors are still at work, but now they're joined by new ones we've created ourselves. So, what's next? Will technology take over, turning us into cyborgs? Are we going to start guiding our own evolution through genetics? Global migration is already changing our collective gene pool. And what happens if we actually become a multi-planetary species? How would life on Mars reshape the human body? We have come an impossibly long way from that crowded, diverse world of ancient humans. The only thing we know for sure is that our journey is far from over. Our tangled family tree is still growing new branches, reaching for a future we can only begin to imagine.